Hello everyone, this is Miguel Borba with Made the Cut Golf Remastered Edition. In this video, I will be showing examples of how to play with the advanced rules of trees. And here we are at the hole number one at Augusta National with the Masters coming up in a couple of weeks or next week. I'm not sure which one it is. The first hole here that Happy Gilmore is going to play. He hits his drives 300 yards carry, so this looks like with an aggressive Happy Gilmore, a good target spot to aim for. And instead of rolling dice, I'm going to pretend like he hit the ball into the tree line and talk about how that plays. So let's say, for example, that his shot sprayed to the left 30 yards or 35 yards because he hit a poor shot. So it goes from 300 to 335. That puts him there. So I'm going to mark this shot as, let's say his ball landed in that position. Um, and now he has tree problems. From his position shooting at the pin, there is definitely tree situation here. This looks like a lot of shadowed. The shadows make it look like it's a lot of trees here, but this is the shadow of the trees. The tree line is pretty much here. So the way the tree rule works is you first have to choose whether to do a punch shot out of the trees or through trees or a standard shot. Let's go over the punch shot first. So for the punch shot, he would be considering may only target half of your planned shot carry value, and it only uses half of the spray value. So let's say he's targeting the shot to the center of the green, for example. It would be a 165-yard shot. But because of the tree line, he could only target half of the planned shot carry value. So in order to shoot 165, he would have to be aiming at 330 yards. So if you look at his card, there is no 330 yards. The maximum he could take out of the rough, which is where he's playing, is a 225-yard shot. But since he's taking a punch shot, he could only do half of that. So the maximum he could shoot would be roughly 112 yards. So 112 yards will put him punching the ball out to, let's say, this target. And the way this works is, so he's punching through the trees, maximum punch of 112. You basically take the spray percentage value of his shot minus the amount of what it is a 100 minus the tree distance. So let's show you what I mean by that. So let's say that's his target, and let me mark that spot, and then we'll recreate the line. So that's his target. So just to show how this works, so he's shooting a 112-yard shot from here. Now let's see how much tree we have to worry about. So starting at about 10 yards, you have trees. From 10 to about, in this line, 10 to about, let's call it 55, is tree trouble. So 45 yards of tree trouble to get to this shot. And in the rules, it says you take 100 minus the 45, which is a 65% chance of making this shot a good shot. And then you roll half spray left and right, and of course where the ball rolls and then it lands and rolls. But his percentage would be 100 minus 45 yards of trees, which gives him a 65% chance of hitting a good shot. Poor shots, so if he fails that 65% roll, carry only half of this distance. So he would have clipped some trees and landed at 66 yards, which if we go back, he would, in that direction, he would land around here on the fairway. So even with a poor shot, if he punched it, it would bang through the trees and land here with a poor shot. Or if he makes his good percentage roll, it goes all the way here, and then you roll the standard scatter up and down, whether the ball's short or long, again, all with half the distances on the spray. And then the ball rolls to wherever it belongs. In this case, it stops here. It just simply bangs through the trees and lands about halfway to his original target. That's considered a punch. So now let's go over a standard shot. So let's say he is being very risky and he's going for the center of the green, which is a 165-yard shot. In this case, you add the tree distance needing to be cleared in yards to your roll. So if he's trying to hit a 165-yard shot out of the rough, you're talking about the 170. He only has a 49% chance of hitting a successful shot. And now we look at how much tree he has to deal with. Again, we'll start with 10 before the trees start. And on the way to the center of the green, it looks like the trees stop about right here. So 80 minus the 10, so that's 70 yards. So he's not able to go at the actual green with this type of standard shot. He would have to go for his punch shot to here, or if you're playing with the advanced rules of a shaped shot, a draw, then you would look at what, I'll just do it quickly, but you'll look at what a draw may be. It would be in from here, and that would be the shape of the shot coming in. So now you're talking about 10 yards of tree line. This would be the target. So let's just mark that as his draw target, for example, if that was the actual numbers. And then you would see that he could take a standard shot at the flagstick. It would have 10 yards before the trees start. And then to this target line with his draw, I would say that the trees are 55. So that's 45 yards. Again, very, very difficult shot. He only has a 48%, and you're going to be rolling and adding 45 to the number. So only really a 3, 2, or 1, or a 0 is successful. So most likely he will fail. And if you fail a standard tree shot, then the ball only carries half of the tree distance, which would be, let's say the tree line starts at 10 to 50, so it only goes 25 yards. So in this case, it's 35, and it stops in the tree. So he just bounced around in the tree. So that's how trees work. It takes a little bit of practice. You don't have to use this as an advanced rule, but it does add to the challenge of how to play aggressively versus non-aggressively. And so anyway, there you have it. This was a video about how to play into or through trees. One thing I forgot to mention, if the drive is coming in and it the target is here, for example, and it flies and lands in the trees, let's say here. Instead of rolling, wherever it lands, if it lands on the fly, that is your ball position. That is where your ball landed. Then you have to work on taking the shot out of the trees, dealing with all these trees and either punching it or being aggressive and going for the green. If the ball lands somewhere and rolls into trees, so let's say you had a shot, a drive came in and landed here and then has a 30-yard roll, you would consider anything in trees to be the ground cover. So it's pine here, which is other, and it's 2 yards per per yard of roll. So instead of rolling 30 yards, it's going to roll only 15 yards. So if 64 plus 15 would be 79, the ball would settle along the line in the trees there. So that's how you play rolling into trees or the ball carrying into trees or how to play shots out of trees. Thank you very much for watching.